Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Hayya ala salat. Hayya ala salat. Hayya ala falah. Hayya ala falah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم كتاب أنزلناه إليك مبارك ليدبروا آياته وليتذكر أولو الألباب. Sadaqallahul Aliyyul Azim. This is the book that we have revealed to you, abounding in good, that they may think about its verses, and that the men of understanding may mind. With this verse of the Holy Quran, I add a hadith from Muwatta, Imam Malik. Hazrat Imam Malik reports on the authority of Ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. He said, we live in a time where the reciters of the Quran are few in numbers. But the people who have an understanding of the message and meaning of the Quran, they are in large numbers. He said, questions are rarely asked, even though if they are asked, there are many people to answer them. People care more. People care more about observing the commands of the Quran, not to preserve the letters of the Quran. He went on to say, in this time, people pay more attention to their deeds and they put aside their egos and their desires. Whenever they pray, their prayers are long, and whenever they talk, their speeches are short. And there will come a time when the number of people who know how to recite the Quran beautifully are going to be in abundance. But people who have the understanding of its meanings are going to be very few in numbers. People are going to pay a lot more attention to preserving the letters of the Quran, but they are going to be heedless about the commands of the Holy Quran. So these are people who pay more attention to their ego, and they put aside their deeds or their work. Whenever they speak, their speeches are very long. And whenever they lead the prayers, their prayers are very short. And I would suggest that for the last several hundred years, this is the time that we have been living in. As some of you would know, I take lessons to try and improve my recitation of the Holy Quran. And there are hundreds or thousands of such schools doing it in person or online. And such meticulous attention is paid to pronouncing things correctly. It reminds me of the hadith of the Holy Prophet, when Muslims were discussing how to call Muslims to prayer, and the Azan was decided upon. The Holy Prophet nominated Hazrat Bilal, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, a black African slave, was given this honor to be the caller at the Prophet's mosque, to be the first caller ever in the history of Islam. And people objected, not to his color, not to the fact that he was an African slave, but to the fact that Hazrat Bilal radiyallahu ta'ala, being an African, could not pronounce Azan in the Quraysh dialect. And they said to the Holy Prophet Muhammad, his pronunciation is incorrect. And the Holy Prophet said, to God, his pronunciation is correct. Because God looks at the intention in your heart, not just the outward deeds. And this topic came to mind because of the 55-year sentence that the High Court, the criminal division of the High Court, passed on a Muslim who had helped perpetrate a crime that led to the killing of 23 people. And why was that? Why did they do that? Because they had the wrong understanding of the Holy Quran and the actions of the Holy Prophet Muhammad. These guys were born in this country. They went to the schools that you and I go to. So where did they get this incorrect understanding about Islam. They got it from the Islamic schools that are run in the evenings and on Saturday and on Sunday. Not only are such wrong teachings delivered at those Islamic schools, but they're also hidden. And they don't do the Muslim community any favors by doing these things. Do you think Muslims and Islam got a good press yesterday and today? When the relatives of those young people who were slaughtered stood up in the High Court and cried about losing their sons and their daughters and their brothers and their sisters. We rightly scream and shout at the innocent people that American drones have killed. Weddings have been bombed by these drones. So if we are so moved by the plight of these people, and they're not even related to us, don't you think that the brothers and the sisters and the mothers and the fathers and blood relatives of those innocent people, their hearts cried out? Do we have no feeling for them? A lady put it very aptly. When asked by a television reporter about her opinion. She said, 55 years seems a long time to you. 55 years, we're all saying, well done, it is correct. But she said, I have been sentenced to life. My child perished. I could do nothing to save that child. My sentence is a life sentence. It is also being ungrateful to the country that has provided you with so many benefits. We have other examples. Shamima Begum, born in this country. Her parents didn't pay any medical fees for her delivery or during the time that her mother was pregnant. Went to school and got free education. And then, because she was brainwashed by some so-called scholars, she gave it all up and went to Syria and engaged in terrorism. But it was only when she got there that she realized what these animals are like. They passed women from man to man, as if a woman is no better than can I borrow your shoes, or can I borrow your tie, or can I borrow your socks? To them, women had no more value than a pair of shoes or socks that one man wears one day, and then he passes on to his friend who needs a pair of shoes. This is why Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad came. You know, some people say, why do you say to us, go to your own mosque? We broadcast khutbas and prayers, join them in preference to going to a Sunni mosque, because a man is judged by the company he keeps. If there is a robbery and there's a group of guys and the police recognize one as being the robber, they're going to arrest all of them. The rest may have nothing to do with that robbery, but they will have to prove that they're innocent. If you go to those mosques, you too will be tarred with the same brush. The brush that has brought humiliation upon the beautiful name of Islam and the name of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The only thing you can do is to remain separate, to create your own organization, to strengthen your own organization, and then use it. To propagate the true teachings of Islam. This is the only way for success, not just for you and me, but also for Islam. This is the only way. Hazrat Sahib had a motto, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib had a motto which said, back to the Quran. He said, why is it that you say Maulana A says this and Mufti B says that, and Imam D has said something else? What is wrong with you? Is this how you're going to answer God on the day of judgment? Why did you kill an innocent man? Oh, Mufti Sahib so and so said it was okay to kill these people. And God isn't going to ask you, but I revealed the Holy Quran. And I put everything in the Holy Quran. Why didn't you read the Holy Quran? Why did you depend on Mufti A or Imam B or whoever else it was? This is why Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said that every single member of this Jamaat should be able to lead prayers. People said we don't have an Imam who's going to lead the nikah. Hazrat Sahib said, but where does it say in the Quran that only an Imam can lead the nikah? Where does it say in the Quran that you need an Imam with a certificate from some school to lead the funeral prayers? These are basic things, you should all know them. Do not depend on individuals. First, you will depend on those individuals, and then those individuals will lead you astray. And then you will say, oh, well, I didn't know. This is why it is very, very important to make sure that you are recognized as a separate sect, as a separate group of Islam that does not adhere to the beliefs of Ahl Sunnat wal Jamaat or Ahl Tashriq. The list is a long one. Ahl Sunnat wal Jamaat believe Jesus will descend from heavens and show us the right way. So what answer is there if someone says, well, why don't we join Jesus' flock now? Why do we have to wait until he descends from heavens? Ahl Sunnat wal Jamaat believe that verses from the Holy Quran have been left out. We reject such nonsense. Ahl Sunnat wal Jamaat believe that verses of the Holy Quran have been abrogated. We reject such nonsense. Ahl Ahl Sunnat wal Jamaat believe that the Holy Prophet Muhammad married Hazrat Aisha when she was 6 years old. What is the point of marrying a 6-year-old girl? And they open the character of our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to ridicule and insult by such beliefs. Our Jamaat was the first one to do research into this topic. And may Allah grant Ghulam Nabi Muslim Sahib a high place in heavens, who proved that Hazrat Aisha was actually 21. Because he said, we don't know when she was born, but we know when she died. And from there he worked back. Such and such event took place in such and such year. So how old was she? Okay, let's work back from there. And he came to the conclusion that the Holy Prophet and Hazrat Aisha married when Hazrat Aisha radhiyallahu ta'ala was 21 years old. But who can answer these questions? Only this Jamaat. No one else can confront any other religion apart from the Lahore Ahmadiyya community. But then, if we weaken it, what answer will we give to God? If we weaken it by going and praying behind non-MDs. If you do that, you don't actually accept Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad as the promised Messiah. Because the Holy Prophet Muhammad said, he will be among you the judge and arbiter, the Messiah when he comes. And when asked, Hazrat Sahib said, only pray behind those non-MD Imams who announce that anyone who calls the reciter of the kalima is a kafir himself. Otherwise, don't. And you know the faith of MDs at those times? In Balochistan, which is regarded as a dangerous place even now, in one village, there was one single MD. And he was not afraid to tell people, I'm an MD. And he prayed separately. This is how this issue arose. That others actually wrote to Hazrat Sahib and said, please ask him to pray with us. He is such a pious person that our prayers will be blessed. And Hazrat Sahib then wrote back and said, yes, fine. But first, you have to announce that in accordance with the hadith of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, that any reciter of the kalima who says to another that you are a heretic, you are a kafir, it's the caller who's the heretic. If you announce that, I'll say to him, pray with you. If you're not prepared to announce that, then what's the point of writing me a private letter and saying, oh, it's okay, we think you're a Muslim. The promised Messiah said, I know I'm a Muslim. You don't have to tell me. I don't need a certificate from you. But look at the courage of that man. He stood up to a whole community. And that is needed more every day. More and more every day. The world is coming to the teachings of the promised Messiah. I exchange views with many American Muslims. And when talking about jihad, they give exactly the interpretation that Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib gave. Why don't they give the interpretation that Maulana Maududi and Sayyid Qutb and all these people gave. Because in 2 seconds, CIA or FBI will be around, they'll be rounded up and put in prison and tried for inciting hatred and violence. Are there 2 Qurans, one for Pakistan and Saudi Arabia and one for United States? What we say about anything, in Pakistan we say the same thing, in England, the same thing in Germany, the same thing in Trinidad, the same thing anywhere in the world and everywhere in the world. So why do we do that? Because it is the right thing. It is what is written in the Holy Quran. So it is your duty and mine to strengthen this Jamaat, to be proud that you are members of this Jamaat and not compromise. The last part of the pledge you take is, I shall hold my religion above the considerations of any worldly benefit. So if you say my brother-in-law is going to get upset if I don't pray behind his Sunni Imam, and that consideration is more important to you than the fact that that Sunni Imam calls Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad a kafir, then you're not an Ahmadi. You haven't held your religion above your worldly considerations. I know I'm going to get lots of messages saying you're very harsh and you're very strict and so on. But as Hazrat Sahib said, there is a time to be nice and soft and kind, and there's a time to be straightforward and harsh. There are people who think they're being very flexible. They're being very moderate. They're not being extremist by forsaking their beliefs. There is moderation and flexibility, and there is dishonor. You're not being moderate. You're not being flexible. You're being dishonorable if you forsake your religion, if you hide your religion for the sake of some worldly benefit. Because it shows you don't believe in God. You believe that these people give you benefit, and it's not God who gives you benefit. With that, we come to the end of today's khutbah. Barakallahu lana wa lakum fil Qur'anil azim wa nafa'ana wa iyyakum bil ayati wa zikril hakim innahu ta'ala jawadun kareemun malikun barraufur rahim. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayhi wa na'udhu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. Man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu. Wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama barakta ala Ibrahim innaka wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma ansur man nasara deena Muhammadin sallallahu alayhi wa sallam waj'alna minhum waqsul man khazala deena Muhammadin sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa la taj'alna minhum. Ibadallah rahmukumullah. Inna Allah ya'muru bil adli wal ihsani wa ita'i dhil qurba wa yanha 'anil fahsya'i wal munkari wal baghi ya'izukum la'allakum tadhakkarun. Uzkurullaha yazkurkum wa yastajib lakum wa la zikrullahi akbar. Wallahu ya'lamu ma tasna'un. Those who are watching the live stream, for prayers, you can follow the audio. So we are switching over to audio now.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salah, hayya ala falah. Qad qamatis salah, qad qamatis salah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah.
Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Alhaakumut takathur hatta zurtumul maqabir. Kalla sawfa ta'lamuna thumma kalla sawfa ta'lamun. Kalla law ta'lamuna ilmul yaqin latarawunnal jahim. ثم لترونها عين اليقين ثم لتسألن يومئذ عن النعيم. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Wal asr innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa 'amilus الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. طيب. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أستغفر الله. أستغفر الله كل ذنب. اللهم أنت السلام تبارك. Click on it again on the photo. Click. Thank you very much for joining us for our Friday service. Our program for this weekend is that tomorrow we have lessons in Islam from 9 to 10 UK time. That is in English only. And then on Saturday on Zoom, there is a conference being broadcast from Suriname. There was going to be a normal conference of Suriname, Guyana, and Trinidad Jamaats, and many people were going to go, but because of the current situation, that is not possible. So they're going to do something on Zoom. If someone is interested, please email me and I'll send you the link. As I said, so that's Saturday's program, and then on Sunday, again UK time, from 9 in the morning until 9:30, we have Call of the Messiah in Urdu, and from 9:30 to 10, we have the same in English. Today we are going to, on Sunday we are going to look at the beliefs of our Jamaat from the extracts from Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib's writings. We are not going to add anything from ourselves. It is what the man himself said. Until we meet again, I take my leave of you with the prayer that whoever you are, wherever you are, may Allah keep you all safe and sound and free from harm. Assalamu alaikum. Khuda Hafiz. Goodbye.